Hello, thanks for taking a moment to watch this video, and hopefully this will help you use what we think is one of our most productive tools, and something that allows us to really nitpick and get all those little dirty details we need in order to minimize your taxes. So what you're looking at is our purple organizer, and this is Sherlock and Irene Holmes. So we went ahead and made a fake one and used Sherlock and Irene. So what you see here is the cover. Of course, we need this in order to mail it to you. Then the letter, not a big deal, just a little, hey, how you doing? This is what it's about. We get through here, and this is where we need you to take a few moments. Please take your time, take a look, make sure we got your name spelled, make sure you got your birthdays right, make sure we got your address correct. There was one couple who had been a client for 10 years, and we had the birthdays mixed up. I didn't find that until they got divorced. So please take a moment, go through this. Oops. Here, phone numbers. This is really important. Another thing that happens with us a lot is we don't get one of the spouse's phone numbers, and that can be challenging because sometimes we just need to talk to the other spouse. We get it. You have one main contact. We want that, but sometimes we need to reach out to the other person. So please make sure we have contact information for both parties. Right here, dependents. Again, very important. Especially if you got a new one or they fall off, we need to know. But we need to make sure we got their proper name for their social security card, birth dates, and we will need the social security number. We hide them here because we don't want any identity theft. Going through here, these are the questions, lots and lots of questions. We know it's nitpicky, we know it's kind of a pain, but again, so are taxes. And if you answer yes to one of these, it has an effect on your tax return. So please take a minute, review the questions. If you got any comments, feel free to write them down. If you have any documents that are needed, just throw them in behind the pages as they come up. More questions. I'd like to point out right down here, these ones, if you have foreign assets, super important to tell us about it. The tax consequences are minimal, but the penalties for not reporting it are very high. So please take a moment, go through all this. Another interesting one is, did you receive, sell, and send, exchange, or otherwise acquire any financial interest in virtual currency or digital assets? So that's a big one too. IRS has a box. It's not a big deal. Just let us know if you got them. This is last year, so you're not going to have the COVID, but it's going to be pretty similar. So here you go. You can see we got some information. So we just kind of stick the information behind the appropriate page in the return. Here we have the bank information. This is where we look for estimated tax payments. It's absolutely amazing how many people forget they made estimated tax payments. If you make an estimated tax payment, I'd encourage you to print it out, put it in your file, then you don't forget it. But I've had people forget six-figure payments. And you can do that through EFTPS or checks and coupons. I think the EFTPS is simpler and easier now than the checks and coupons, especially with the reliability of the post office. But anyways, if you made any payments, check it here. And these are only for individual, not your business payments. Business payments, payroll, we got that. That's a different area. So this would just be your quarterly estimated tax payments. Next page, we kind of ask you some of these, but if you have any comments, feel free to answer them. Now here, this is based on Sherlock's 2020 return. So last year, Sherlock got 2 W-2s from Scotland Yard. And you can see we got the numbers that were in there last year. We don't need you to complete this. We don't need you to put in numbers. All we need you to do is put the W-2s behind this page. If you got any pensions or gambling winnings, same thing, right? Just give us the documents. We like the documents. Don't try to fill it out. Let us pull the numbers we need. And you can see here's a W-2. And you can see part of our process. We highlight the numbers. We tick mark. We make sure we get all the information in correctly. Another W-2. He said he got 2. And then we're off. This is state refunds. These are becoming rare and rare, but again, yes, they will tax you on your state refund if you got one. Again, it's not a simple calc, but if you got it, please give it to us. This one is about education distribution. So Sherlock had some 529 plans last year. So now this year we're asking, hey, did you pull anything from the 529 plan? We need to know this. We're going to bug you for it. Yes, it's a pain. Do us a favor. Go pull the data now while you're reminding of it. Otherwise, we're going to bug you. It's going to bog it all down, run up the bill. Just pull it and make everyone's life easier. We do need it. Now, that being said, is if you didn't do it, just write NA, didn't have it this year, and then we know. If we got nothing, we have to ask because we don't know if you just ignored it or if there is nothing. So if there's nothing, please indicate nothing. Capital gains and distributions, I highly recommend you don't fill this out, just attach brokerage statements. Or if you sold property, include settlement statements. So again, more ES. So here we go. Here's a brokerage statement. And I would like to say we want all the pages. We actually go through when we're doing our review marks to make sure we have all the pages because there's certain data we need, and we're going to go through and pull it. So please just give us the entire statement. We want it. Makes everyone's life easier. No reason to pull data off. Again, you can see we highlight the numbers we need. Nothing on this page. We do get some details in here that sometimes are helpful. And you will see that, look, page 8, there's nothing, but we don't know there's nothing until we see it. Same with 9, same with 10. So when we see something 10 out of 10, we're thinking there's data everywhere. So just give us the entire document. Here's the next one. And this one's actually going to have, again, page 2, nothing there. We would never know without this page there. Here we are pulling the information we need. And look, here's page 7, where we had to pull some details off because we needed to figure out the basis price. So you can see why we need it. Flipping through here, this is a rental. Sherlock had a rental, 220B Baker Street. This is our tape, just kind of making sure that what's on the tax return matches the data. And then underneath it, you'll see this is our depreciation schedule. We'll do this. You don't need to do that. But here it is, something from the property management company. We pulled some numbers off, particularly rent and expenses. 1099, make sure it ties because the IRS will do that. So we want to do that. Mortgage statements, several of those. Property taxes, we can pull that easy enough. And here's the second rental. So same thing. Boom. This time the client gave us some information and we pulled that information from his spreadsheet. Again, mortgage statements, property taxes, more deductions. We pull all that out. There's the tape. Boom, that goes to the tax return. Apparently, he bought this property this year, so he gave us the property settlement statement. And what we do is we want to make sure we capture the basis. So all these closing costs, they're part of your basis. So we just want to make sure we capture them all up front. It's more significant when you sell than when you buy, but still, every little bit helps, right? We're trying to save taxes and use every trick in the book we can. So here we are, we're looking for partnerships and S-Corp K1s. So if Lowy's prepared it, like Lowy's did Scotland Yard, but we're not going to do United States Oil. We need that K1. Go hunt it down. Nowadays, everything's online. Yes, I get it. You got to have an account, got to have a password. I don't like it, but we understand why they do it. So here we go. These are the K1s we produced. You can see we knock them out, put them in there. This one happened to have California in there. More. So this was, through it too quick, this was a publicly traded one. We need it. Again, you can see we highlight numbers, we pull it. Part of our procedure. Want to make sure we get everything in right. Here's another asset disposition list. If you sold something for money, we should know about it. If we don't have any other details, put it here. So if you sold a desk for $200, you should tell us. You sold a car, that kind of stuff. This might be a great place to tell us about it. And here we have adjustments to income. So if you did IRAs or plan to do IRAs, Roth IRAs, other retirement, here's self-employed health insurance, student loan interest, educator expenses. These are all reductions. Take a few moments, see if any of these apply to you. And again, you can see the numbers. Last year, Sherlock had $5,772 of health insurance. That kind of gives you an idea of what you did last year. We need a number for this year. More detail, so we're pulling information off his spreadsheet he sent us. Here we are, itemized deductions. Now, Sherlock was a little lazy. Sherlock didn't give us any medical expenses. Shame on Sherlock. These are 100% deductible on the Arizona return. There's a lot of people take the standard deduction federal where they can't get the medical, but the medical deductions will allow them to itemize on Arizona. So track it. We're not too concerned about getting the numbers in the right boxes. We just really want a total. That's all that goes on the tax return. But if you give us the details, we'll put it in there, and then you'll have it for next year. Taxes, we pull a lot of this. The one area down in taxes I want you to look for is personal property taxes. This is car tax. So if it's not in the business, make sure you give us your car tax. I believe you can go to the website and pull off a report for everything you paid for the year. Again, pulling detail, support, we put it behind here. Mortgage interest tells you, we try to write down the bank and who it came from so you know where it comes from. Try to make it super easy on you. Again, you don't need to write the number, just slide it behind us. Cash contributions, I encourage people to track that. I believe you're much more charitable than you give yourself credit for. So track those. Here's their mortgage statements, right? So they had a couple this time. And here's some of the goodwill. It was in his spreadsheet, so we pulled it out like that, looking for the Arizona credits. And then he actually gave us checks, which we really enjoy, because then we can pull the date, know exactly who it was, when it was paid for, what we're doing. It makes it a lot easier having copies of the checks. Plus, it's great records for you, right? If you ever gotta go back and hunt it down, we got it. So then you see there are the receipts. You throw them in here, non-cash contributions. This is one everyone forgets. Take a picture, write down what you paid for it new. We'll take a third. You can ignore this section. Arizona conforms, so none of this is deductible. Union dues are no longer deductible. Unreimbursed employee expenses are no longer deductible. So all you telecommuters with a home office, you're out of luck. Investment expenses, tax prep fees, none of that's deductible anymore. Other miscellaneous deductions, you got something you didn't find a spot for, just put it in there. Give us a note, we'll follow up. Donated property, so this is a little more detail on the goodwill stuff. And that's it, right? So basically you can slide the goodwill documents in here. So that was just, that's the end of it. Didn't take us that long to go through it. This is probably an average size organizer. And just encourage you to take a few minutes, go through it, help us, help you, give us all the details we need. You know, it's a pain, but we ask for a reason. Thank you, folks. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and have a great day.